Welcome to another BASI Systems tutorial. Today I'm going to give you a guided tour of the F2 chair. It is of particular pleasure to introduce you to this piece of apparatus. It is close to my heart, dear to my heart. It's a piece of apparatus that I designed many years ago, but over the years it's evolved into a mature, beautiful piece of apparatus that is multi-dimensional and multifunctional. I could not run a studio without it. I love working out on it, and I love teaching on it, from the very basic levels to the super advanced master level. So this particular model is called the F2 chair barrel. As you can see, it's shaped like a barrel. This piece of equipment has three distinct components. It's got the ladder barrel, it's got the chair, and it's got the box. And they all integrate together to offer you a multitude of movements and opportunity. So we've got the barrel, but we also have a version that's called the F2 chair classic. The F2 chair classic is actually the original, that's why we called it the classic, and it's got a flat top with curved edges. So because I knew it would be hard for people to decide which version to go with, I decided to design a saddle that fits on top. So you simply put the saddle on top, it fits into place, and now you have a very sturdy, flat top, rounded edges, essentially like a short box. The reason I designed it like this is I wanted a ladder barrel, but I wanted a little more stability for people on the top. Sometimes it's uncomfortable when we lie prone and we have this barrel that's going into the abdominal region. Being able to lie on a flat box still gives you all the advantages of the barrel, but a little more stability in the center. Very easy to take off, and off it goes. So the F2 chair gets its name from this F2 system, made of high-grade, high-quality aluminum. It is absolutely beautiful, very light, very strong. Here we have bearings that allow this handle to turn so seamlessly, rubber-coated, and finally the adjustments. Fits into place beautifully, and as you can see, we've got a socket here, a socket there, a socket on the box, and here we've got a plate. This plate can simply be taken out. We put this socket in its place, and then you can fit this handle in. And by the way, this F2 system is a common thread throughout all the BASI Systems equipment. Reformer, Cadillac, Wonder Chair, Spine Corrector, they all have the system integrated into it. So you don't have to buy a lot of these handles, just have the sockets, and then you can move around with these handles. So moving on, this rotates. As we rotate towards the front of the chair, it goes from direction 1, direction 2, direction 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and back to 1. And by the way, those numbers are engraved on this aluminum plate. We also have adjustment in terms of height of the lever. So this is height number 1, height number 2, 3, 4, 5. We can rotate it in either direction 90 degrees, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Each position you just lock in with a very light turn. There's a special thread inside here that's a very big thread, so it doesn't take much to lock it in place. Half a turn, and then it's spring loaded and you pull it out. So here we've got both in direction number 1 on lever height 1, and we are ready for work. Notice this beautiful curved angle here, all designed ergonomically to be supportive to the body. The sacrum sits right in that area, is very well supported. When we are lying supine, the scapula fit into that area, so that's a comfortable area for the scapula to dip down into, or there's certain exercises where actually the head fits right into that little dip and is supported, the neck is supported by this curve. Moving on, we of course have the ladder with the complete adjustability of a ladder barrel. We now attach springs. So we have the short yellow springs and the long yellow springs. The short yellow springs we use for arm work, the long yellow springs we use for leg work, exactly the same as the Cadillac. So let me start with a few examples of arm work. I'll show 2 examples. So we'll start with the example of hug a tree, which is such a common Pilates exercise. We know that when we do it on the reformer sitting, the resistance is often coming from very low down. Here, I'll move the box away and show you a very elementary form of the exercise. You can sit your client in place, and by the way, I'll often start just by building the person's alignment, sitting in the chair, and then adding the component of the upper body work. Teaching upper body work on this chair is simply invaluable, both from the perspective of the client and the perspective of the teacher being able to cue very easily. So we can start with hug a tree, and by the way, if you want to make it more advanced and simulate the reformer more, of course you can put the feet up on the box. If someone has tight hamstrings, bringing the legs down is preferable. And then moving into the more complex positions and movements of rotation. You can even add to that, due to the shape of the barrel, that beautiful extension. Now, if that was too heavy, all you have to do, loosen it and take it in. Take it in, take it in, to the point where now that is much, you've made that spring that much lighter, which, as you know, would be a huge change in the resistance of that spring. I'm going to now adjust it to number 5. And now this is in place, and we would work from the opposite direction, doing chest expansion, and if that was too heavy, we could go closer to the chair. If that was too light, of course, we could move further away. We could also adjust the handle, but it's easier for the person to move. And again, as before, if you wanted to simulate sitting on the reformer, very easy to put the legs up, going into biceps. So we have those options with the arms. There are many, many arm series. I encourage you to come to one of the F2 system workshops as I take you through much of the repertoire on this piece of apparatus. So that was addressing the chair, this top mechanism, and some of the fundamentals of arm work. In future tutorials, I'm going to address more of the box, how we use the box, and how we use the ladder. Please visit basisystems.com and find out more about this incredible line of Pilates apparatus that is really on the cutting edge of form and function. It's beautiful and very, very functional. Thank you so much.